Welcome to Revolution Radio. Today, all you got from the regular crew is me, but I got a special guest. Um, my special guest in here is Keegan.
Hello.
Keegan, you want to say a little bit about yourself? Do you like long walks on the beach?
Why, yes, I do.
What kind of women are you into?
Uh,
Just putting you on the
depends.
spot, man.
I
I'm just
mean,
fucking with you.
You just gotta think about what you want.
Well, yeah. If you're like me, you prefer women with extra parts, and if not,
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine.
Just do whatever you want. I mean,
So, for all of our listeners, they know that having me as the main engine means it's going to get kind of political. And, yeah, that's probably not fun for them. Sorry. No, actually, I'm kind of excited. Our Facebook page has had more recommendations and more people talking about us.
oh,
And they go into the political thing. They're like, oh, I'm glad you guys think outside the box. So
well, that's awesome.
it's not all about dick jokes, I guess. Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
And so on that note, though, I have to kind of hurt some of our listeners. Because a lot of our listeners are more progressive, more liberal, more leaning on the left, except for the hate listeners, which I love you guys too, because I get it. I probably listen to more Jesse Lee Peterson than I listen to anything else, and it's just fun hate listening. So you guys are actually going to be like, all right. But the thing is the reason why I've got to go into this is because what we do here and we try to cultivate is integrity. And it's really difficult. None of us have any real journalistic background. None of us are paid by anyone. So we really could just start being Alex Jones and just saying whatever gets the most clickbait, bullshit stories that we want to get more people. But that's not our goal here. And one of the ways to check is we will often say when we were wrong. We'll often say when, basically if the sky is blue, we'll say it's blue. And that's where I'm going to lose some people today.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid, people. You can come back when some of the hurt stops, but I've about had it with the liberal media and the left wing.
Yeah. I can see that.
Well, and then this week, so the big one would be that Trump he announced he was pulling our troops out of Syria, and then last night, breaking news, he's pulling 7,000 troops out of Afghanistan. And when I said, and I shared this on Facebook, and I tweeted it, and I talked about how great it was that we're going out of Syria. And I by the way, I want to say I was wrong, because Wednesday night, I was on board with it's not a good idea. So I do want to make that correction. I was completely wrong. But later on that night, once I thought about it, I tweeted, and I was like, yes, it's a really good move. People were not happy.
But for what reason exactly?
Because
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of people would think it's a good thing to finally get our troops out of a bad situation sometimes, because you don't know what's going on over there firsthand.
You would think so. You would definitely think so. But we have this side that no matter what Trump does, they're anti-Trump.
Yeah, and they hate
so
him.
they have to vilify him. And at what point were progressives or liberals, when were you people pro-war?
Yeah.
Has Trump turned you so that now you're pro-war, no matter what it is? I mean, I remember I'm old enough to, it was my first year out of high school. I was marching in Kansas City. System of a Down was playing. We were marching against the war in Iraq. They were announcing they were dropping bombs.
Well, I mean,
And
if you really think about it, and you go back to the world wars and especially Vietnam and stuff like that, that there's always been most of our population that is always said, how many times have you heard people go, well, why are we fighting a war that we shouldn't be a part of in the first place?
Exactly. Has Trump poisoned your mind so much that you're just so upset at him that the fact that he's doing something good, you can't
you're not
appreciate
even looking at
that?
the bigger picture.
And, a lot of who I'm talking to, too, is major media, like CNN, MSNBC. They're disgusting. I mean, Rachel Maddow could not do her show unless the word Russia appears in it at least 52 times. She had to say, "Oh, well, this is a early Christmas gift to Putin for us pulling out of Afghanistan." Why? I don't understand that at all. Maybe you could explain it to me, Rachel, but I don't see any correlation. Now, I do see it to Syria, sure, but as far as I know, right now we're helping Assad. I don't really want to be on that team. I'm sorry. And yeah, us leaving, and I grant you that in this scenario, there is an we lowered the sanctions on an aluminum company from Russia. And you think aluminum company? No, this is like $1 billion company, and they get their money unfrozen. They're able to get more money. So yeah, sure, Russia's going to be happy about that. Of course they are.
Well, yeah.
And Russia and Putin is smart enough. He even he's fucking with Americans' mind because he's saying Donald Trump is the gift that just keeps giving. He's doing a lot of shit to troll people and get the other side. See, he's working with Putin. He's working with Putin. Oh, come on. I mean, can we just not stop and say, hey, it's good we're not going to help the Assad family kill a bunch of, innocent children? Can we just go there first?
Because if you think about it, so for how many years have we disliked the Middle East for the actions that they've taken?
We wanted to stay out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And
now
so,
Trump's doing that, and oh no, fuck you, Trump, you're screwing up.
But then you think about it, when Obama pulled troops out, I mean, the other side was, was kind of mad, I guess you could say, because they didn't like Obama.
Right.
And that was it. That was like the only thing that you could think of.
See, I actually think there's more on that because and you and I have had one hell of a day.
Yeah.
And in between this short little time period, I tuned into Sean Hannity.
Okay.
And Hannity was also upset with Trump. And I'll tell you why. So, and I briefly, I just want to go into this. This is what it'll be like if Bernie Sanders is our president.
Oh, absolutely.
Both sides are going to be very angry all the time.
Yeah.
At him. And I'm not saying Trump is Bernie Sanders, so don't run with that. I'm just saying he's doing some very progressive things at the moment, and that's great. I applaud him. I am proud to call him my president for those actions that he's doing. And I don't need, and look, if you're going to go against your own word, then fine, you were never really a progressive, or you let your emotions control you too much. But where I was going is why the right wing is so against him. And you heard Little Miss Lindsey Graham, or as I like to call him, Lindsay Sugarbaker from Designing Women. I got the vapors. He went off on Trump. Like, he decided at that point he's going to be a man. His balls are going to drop. And he was pissed off at Trump for pulling out of Syria.
So was what all did he say? Was he just mad just because of that, or was it other actions? Because
of that. He said this is irresponsible. We should definitely have checks and balances on a president who can just decide to slow down our troop progression. There's 30,000 ISIS members there. We're not doing anything about the ISIS members. When what? Because we're going to be in Iraq still.
Yeah.
We're not that far away.
No.
If ISIS decides to throw a giant party, we can go over there in about 3 hours.
And my thing is, who is he to say what the checks and balances on the president? Because one of the president's job is to control the military.
Yeah.
That's one of his major jobs.
And due to that, too, and, again, I got to be on Trump's side on this one, too. Mattis was like, fuck you. You can't go over my head. I'm sorry. Then bye, Felicia. We don't need you. I mean, because we all know when you break it down, it's the Raytheon mass military world that they're living in.
Yeah.
Who's writing their checks? It's the defense contractors. Who's helping Lindsey Graham get reelected? It's Raytheon, Boeing, everyone making tanks and shit that we don't even need.
No.
And Trump's actually, in this. And I want to say, I to some of the people who have been like, well, it's pretty high hopes coming from Trump. No, you're right. And I don't think that if we take this moment to actually give him the credit he's due, he may not go through with this.
Yeah.
And we really do need to say, hey, this is for the betterment. Yeah, it hurts, because trust me, it hurts me to say this, to go on this rant about how Trump's doing good stuff. It hurts. Of course it does.
And you're not saying that you like him or anything.
No, of course not. No. No, I agree with or disagree with 90% of what he does, but this 10% that he's done this week has been really good. And, another thing that no one's talking about, I was there, I was watching MSNBC last night, and they were going on about what Trump's doing at the border, and he's separating families, and look at these poor children. And you know what? They're right. It sucks. It's horrible. But there's a newer story they could be talking about, and that is that Trump is working with the new president of Mexico. And the new president of Mexico has said, I want to get about $30 billion from around the world, and we're going to put it into Central America. So we're going to build up these countries, and they won't have to migrate. And all along, I've said that's what we should do. That's the perfect plan. And Trump was the first person who said, yeah, I'll donate $6 billion.
Exactly. Because
that's fantastic.
Why wouldn't you want another country to benefit and build up? So that way, like his whole thing about the wall is keeping illegal immigrants out. Well, that would help because they're making their own country better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a really good thing to do.
No, I agree. And I can't get behind Trump enough on that one either. And let's be honest, who started that civil war in Honduras? That was Obama.
Yeah.
So look, I'm not saying Obama was better or worse. I'm not saying any of that for any of my listeners on the left. I'm just saying we need to call it fair when it comes to your ideology.
Now,
and I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, no, I think it's shitty that we're doing this, even though you can find, probably 3 recorded, 6 hours a week of me saying this is a good idea for the last 6 months, No, I'm not going to turn that just because Trump did it. I think that's fantastic. And then the last thing that they're not talking about enough that he did is the prison reform. I mean, one of the things that has been noted as just incredibly racist is that for rock cocaine, you can get up to like 50 or 60 years. And for powdered cocaine, the maximum is 8 years. Same shit.
Yeah, it's the exact same.
But African Americans tend to use the rock. Yeah. And
crack rocks.
And that was one of the things that he had, where now they're going to be treated as the same. And that's one of many, many things. Of course, yeah. A lot of decriminalization of marijuana and of other drugs. We're going into how much people were caught with. Violent offenses are going to be handled different as per, was it domestic? Was it, what was the situation going on? Like, they're reevaluating a lot of our prisoners.
Which is especially good for the people that, got years and years and years of marijuana. I mean, that's ridiculously good. And then, like, if you think about it, our country's going farther and farther towards legalizing. Like that bill that just passed that Trump just signed, not marijuana, but hemp.
Yeah, the farm bill?
Yeah, the farm bill just passed saying that it is legal to grow up to a certain portion in the United States.
And that's another thing people aren't talking about.
No.
These are fantastic things that the Trump administration is doing. And, again, it kills me to take 20, 30 minutes of my show to kiss Trump's ass. But I'm not going to lie to people, and I'm not going to try to put a negative spin on it.
Now, one thing I did see about the whole hemp thing, though, is on Facebook, is that a lot of people weren't thinking hemp is not marijuana. Like, marijuana is not legal. Like, that's not a thing. Like, you can't just go out and smoke a doobie in front of, like, Wichita PD. Like, that's not what you're going to do.
No, what it does do, though, is it does open CBD up for testing. And we can actually now get into the medicinal uses of it. And that's a big win. That's a much bigger win than people were making out of it. Because, like you're saying, we open that door. That door leads to the bigger door, which is THC. And, we can work in that. And let's be honest, too, so far, the most medical relevant chemical in marijuana is a CBD so far that we found, because there's a lot of children who have to pay, their parents have to pay an exorbitant amount of money for seizure medicine. And CBD is the safest and it's the cheapest way to go, but it's not really available. There's so many. I mean, I never want to get into what I do for a living, but I
Yeah,
will say
exactly.
that sometimes I do mess with it. And you have to have lab results. You have to have a lot of clean background. So if it's legal, it's easier to grow. There's not some issues. It's going to
More
be more
facts.
available. Yeah.
Way more facts on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just going to be more available and it's going to be more easier to get. And, in the upcoming years,
Yeah,
it's a good push.
I think
Now,
so.
I want to go on the other side of stuff because I also don't want to be caught in this when certain things don't work
Yeah.
and then see you were pushing. I understand the negatives of everything. And do you remember a couple days ago they were talking about how Trump abandoned the wall,
Yeah.
and now he's tweeting and saying, "No, I'm not signing this,"
Yeah.
because Fox News pushed against him, and his favorite fans were saying he's weak, and Trump can't handle that.
No, because he's got to have his big ego. I mean,
Exactly.
exactly. Like,
So now he's going against it. So yeah, with our military pullouts, I hope it happens.
yeah.
But all the hate he's getting, I don't know. But I'm torn on that, and I'll tell you why. Because he said he made the decision to pull out of Syria and Afghanistan last Friday. And one of his aides noted that he spent a majority of the evening talking to President Erdogan. Erdogan is the president of Turkey.
Okay.
And Saturday, we announced a major, major arms deal with them. Now, here's the relevant thing here. Turkey does not want us in Syria, and they don't want us in Afghanistan. And that, to me, seems like they're the one controlling
Yeah, exactly.
our diplomacy. And, again, is that the right way to handle it? Fuck no.
No.
And should we leave this situation as abruptly? No. We should set the Kurds up. We should say, hey, look, if what I suspect is true, we talk to Erdogan and we say, look, we'll make this arms deal happen and we're going to leave. But if any of our missiles, any of our bombs are used on the Kurdish people, then the deal's off
Exactly.
and we're back in. I don't know if Trump's going to do it,
How big of an arms deal was it, though?
We're talking billions.
Billions of dollars?
Yeah.
Now, my question to you is so back on Mad Dog, right? Do you think that it's more of the sole fact, since his military background, right, that he's more mad and he's leaving because Trump went over his head, or do you think it's because of the decisions that were made? Because as a military person, you would think that it'd be a good thing to get out of a place like that.
I would no see, and
No?
that's where I think you're coming from a rational place in a place of reason.
Yeah.
And if you're in control, you don't want your guys in danger. But I guarantee you, Mad Dog is thinking as a lobbyist.
Okay, I could see that.
You know what I mean? And he was more mad because, oh shit, I promised all of these, weapon manufacturers. I promised them all of this money, and Trump just fucked that up.
Yeah.
And that's what I think. I mean, the longer they have wars going on, the more money
Money
they
you're
make.
gonna make. A war is one of the biggest ways you can make money.
And I'm sure we're going to see Mattis. He's going to pick up a job as a lobbyist for Raytheon or for one of those big missile companies.
Yeah.
I'm positive. That's the way it always turns out. Even if they don't even need the money, which I highly question why they do it.
I would think it would be more of like contact with many different people. You think so? Because I mean, you already have a multi-billion-dollar business, right?
Yeah.
Like you're already ridiculous. Do you need any help? No. But is it good to keep these people say, "Hey, we're still here." You know what I mean? Like with Mad Dog or something. Say they were going to strike a deal for how much ever money or whatever, and then Trump just fucked that up. So, are they really hurting that much? No, but you kind of just cut a tie with another client that they're thinking about.
Right. No, and I get that completely. But like, let's say you're Mattis right now, and you're worth $28 million.
Something like that.
You're old. Your best days are behind
Mad,
you. Let's be honest.
Pissed off.
You're never gonna spend all your money.
No.
Why would you continue working? Like, I would just be done. like that's it. I'm gonna enjoy it.
He likes being in control.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean,
you have to think about it this way, though. Like, does any really former president ever actually totally let go?
Obama has pretty much let go. I mean, he hasn't done shit.
Because I know the Bushes haven't.
No, they haven't.
Because people like power. Come on, man.
Obama's been on a yacht smoking weed for the last 2.5 years.
Can you blame him?
No, and I don't think he's coming back. I mean,
absolutely not. I mean, for as much hate
fuck
stuff
this shit,
that he
I'm
got.
done. And I'm going to tell the listeners too. That first contract we get, anything over 10 million. After that, I'm done. I don't care if you love the show. I'm out.
Out.
I quit.
10 mil can definitely satisfy. I will attest
I
to
can live
that.
the rest of my life not doing anything, and I'll be fine.
Sitting at home smoking doobies or something or whatever.
Just gaming, hanging out.
Hanging out, whatever.
Beating off whenever I want.
I got the new Call of Duty 48. It's pretty cool.
Sweet. I'm just sitting here on my beanbag.
Yeah.
I'm like a loser.
You're like the people off the 40-year-old version or whatever.
Yes,
that's gaming
exactly.
all day.
Yeah. Fuck all that. I don't want power. I don't want to have to commit to do something every day. I mean, look what happened today when I'm committing to do something. I think we got to talk a little bit about what happened. A little bit. I don't want to go into names. I don't want to go into anything of that nature.
Let's just say somebody possibly might have been intoxicated.
Completely.
Neither
wasted.
one of us.
No. And this was at my place of business where we both work from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a retail store.
Yep.
And this gentleman...
We should just go to the fact of that there is a liquor store right next door.
Yeah.
Like, definitely.
But, and it's in Wichita, Kansas.
Yeah.
I'll also give that out. But, so this gentleman was so drunk that he passed out on, I don't know, what you call it, a futon?
It'd be a futon, yeah.
Yeah, something that we have just for customers to sit down while they're waiting.
And wait and whatever.
Yeah. And he passed out on there. We notified his family.
His family. And I think the crappiest thing is that the workers at the liquor store didn't come and get him.
Yes.
They just dumped him on us.
I agree with that, too.
Like, what the hell, man? Like,
and
come on.
In fact, a certain worker that works there with the first letter of her name is M.
Exactly.
She encouraged him to come over there
and joked with us.
And she told me later that she told him, "Oh, you should go next door." Not right, bitch.
No,
it's not right.
Fuck that.
So he's passed out. Family comes in. They're trying to pull him off of this futon.
His brother, pulls him by the leg and lands him on the floor, like face first,
right on the
smack on concrete. Like, it was perfect.
It was so hilarious.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like, if I didn't feel so bad, I would have been bursting out laughing.
Oh,
like, I felt really bad for his brother and then his other brother because, like, that's really embarrassing.
And I felt really bad for a customer that came in.
I did not, but
really,
no.
He looked really annoyed.
There's something you don't know about that customer.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I can kind of tell you that customer was there when Cody almost blew himself up.
Oh, that's the guy.
So Cody was like,
"Oh, that's
fantastic!"
fantastic.
And I noticed that through this
Cody the electrician,
through this like negotiation that was happening with this drunk guy, that customer didn't give a fuck. Like, he did not care what was going on. Yep. It's, I want this, I want that. Yeah. Nothing around him. And just for anyone who's listening, who's like, Cody almost blew himself. So Cody was messing with some wires.
No, it wasn't just wires. It was literally a plug-in to a 110 outlet. Like, that was it. Like, it's one of those long strips.
He popped part of it off. And then he like tried to put it back on.
Back in.
But he put it back in like backwards.
And it blew up.
And it popped. And I mean, there was a legit fireball that came out of that. And it crossed over this gentleman, the customer's face. And he didn't make a move.
Didn't budge.
No. And Cody was standing there by himself. I was off to the side. And he was like still just ordering as Cody blew up.
Cody's like, "Hey man, I'm having a stroke over here," or something. He's like, "I'll take some blue raspberry and like some other stuff."
Yeah, no, that's so I don't feel bad for him.
Anyway, I just want to point it out here that my man over here did ask this drunk dude to leave several times. Like, we weren't trying to host a hotel or anything. Like, come on over, you drunk bastards. Like, let's go play. Like, no. Like, we told him to leave.
I told him multiple times he has to leave.
And it was hilarious because you sat there and you're like, hey, man, this is a place of business. You can't fall asleep over there. And this drunk dude slips back up in a matter of seconds, goes, yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. Like, no, you're not.
I'm good. And I was like,
no, you're not.
well, we're not good. You need to leave. And he just laid back down. And I'm like, I'm not going to get punched in the face over this shit.
Did you see how slowly he took his shoes off, by the way?
Oh, my God.
Like, he had concentration. And, by the way, it wasn't shoes. It was slides, like Nike slides.
Yeah, which are not a problem.
Not at all. Slip, you're done.
Yeah, I wear them all the time. They're easy to put in. So that's what we were dealing with there. Then I'm getting messages from Will, who's like, "Hey, we're gonna be we're gonna be off air next Wednesday," and I didn't reply to him because we had all that going on. So any of you who we did say we were gonna be back the 26th, we're not. I'm sorry. It'll be next Friday, and then we're gonna be off again for a little while for New Year's Eve. Yeah,
getting crunk on New Year's.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think if we could do a New Year's Eve show, I would be fine with that.
Yeah,
but there's no alcohol out in the station.
I see.
Yeah, that kind of ruins it.
Yeah. Getting slowly, we're getting drunk. Just,
hey, guys, do you see what Tromo did? What?
What did you just say?
You know, that comes from a place of truth. That actually happened.
Can I just say something that I saw the other day?
Huh.
So, you know how people just dedicate themselves, like, to one rapper, right? Like, everyone loves Eminem. Unless you either love or you hate him, right?
Yeah.
On Spotify, right, there's 25,000 followers, right, that spelled his name wrong, right? Instead of Eminem, it's Eminem, right? And they're following that station.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's hilarious. Like, they didn't catch it.
That is so America.
Yeah, right? Like, let me just go ahead and text this in. Oops, I fucked that up. Oh, well. Like, they'll get it.
This is what I wanted.
Click the first one, and it's like some white trash dude that's like, oh, yeah, what's up? Like,
you should do that.
Oh, I should.
It should be like
Instead
JW.
Should be like, instead of like Little Dicky, like Little Richard or something. Or
Yeah,
something like a little bit off, but still on. Like
DMZ. Just like one letter off. Or look at the keyboard and see like what letter's closest.
What letter's close?
Yeah.
Like yeah.
That's what you should do.
There we go.
And then just the entire track of just like doom, doom, and you just go,
and that's it. That's it. Like,
and
in the middle, like, have something totally off, like F is for friends that do stuff together.
That would be great.
And then that's it. Like,
that would actually be one of my favorite songs if you did that. So.
But in the middle, like, have some dude rapping. Like, it's just off the wall.
And like really bad though.
Yeah, horribly bad.
Yeah.
Like our boy from Newton.
Yeah.
Like that guy. I don't know if you ever showed it on.
Forrest Maris. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
we
it.
should have Forrest Maris do it. Fuck Forrest. I don't give a shit. You can eat my ass.
Run, Forrest, run.
But yeah, so we had drunk guy. We're handling that situation. I got Will texting me, which is I appreciate the communique, so I'm not gonna shit on that. And then Cody.
Say it like that. Communique.
I don't know. Then I got Cody. Oh, I can't make it today. What? You mean you're gonna miss all week?
Can I call him out, please?
You savage asshole.
Yeah, can I please call him out?
I mean, you can do what you want. I
All
can't.
right,
I'm
fuck
not,
it.
I can't pull your.
So it's like Wednesday, you can't make it, and you come to the place of business and say you got strep throat, and you're perfectly fucking fine hanging out with your goddamn girlfriend. Like, come on, man. Like,
To be fair to Cody on that one, we did tell him not to. Well, look, he said he had strep throat Monday, and so Tanya and her whole family has 80s AIDS.
what did you just say to me?
Remember the 80s AIDS? 80s AIDS you didn't fuck with, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like nowadays AIDS
yeah,
is
like,
okay.
It's all right, 'cause
yeah,
you can sort of get through it. Like,
yeah.
You're all good.
But yeah, Tanya has like 80s AIDS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's bad
so
shit.
It's like,
yeah.
It's
so
like the super duper strong strain.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Her immune system is all fucked up.
Okay.
So she doesn't want strep throat.
I get it.
I don't have insurance.
Oh.
And so I don't want strep throat. And I fucking hate the doctor. And you have to go to the doctor for strep throat.
Who likes going to the doctor?
It's a fair point, but I totally freak out. Like I'm a hypochondriac, so I just hate being in there. Yeah. And like they would check me and they'd be like, holy shit, your blood pressure's off the roof.
Can I just point one thing out about a doctor's office or a hospital or whatever? I still don't get the people, like, maybe you can explain it to me. They're like, I hate needles, but they have like 16 tattoos.
I don't understand that either. That's
Like-
why I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah, like it's like, oh yeah, man, like I just hate going to the doctor because of needles or whatever. And it's like, or you're just a pussy. Like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, no,
like
no.
I get it if you hate needles, but then you go and get stabbed a million times
with a fucking gun
to have
yeah.
like I heart mom on your
Right,
back
right.
or something. Like,
or just some stupid tribal designs. You don't
Yeah,
even know
like-
what it is.
oh yeah, man, this is a Chinese symbol. It's for cool, and it's actually like fuck you. Or
Yeah,
something.
it's-
Like
it's
you don't
how
even know what it is. Like,
I like asshole.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't get that either because I am terrified of needles, and I don't have a single
get that.
tattoo. Like,
I get
none.
that. Like,
Although I have had piercings, and I'll explain real quick. Those piercings, most of them were done by myself, which I
mhm.
don't recommend
Made
anyone
doing.
do that, especially your nose because it'll bleed like a motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also the other one was just to get laid, and I was like 17, 18. You know what I mean? Like when you're 17 or 18, you have a different outlook on things. You're a little bit more, I can fight the world kind of thing. Fuck it, especially if it's for pussy from a hot chick. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
And
Yeah.
that was kind of the idea going in. Completely turned, and I didn't give a shit. And I really liked that piercing, and it was quick. That was the other thing. Like it was really, really quick.
See-
Shots are really quick too.
well-
For me, it's the taking blood.
I think the number one thing is that a lot of people get freaked out by is the size of the needle.
Yeah,
Like, because if you get a shot, that's a long needle, especially if you're getting like a tetanus shot or something like that. Like, that's
Blue
a pretty,
shot.
it's a pretty long needle. I mean, but the thing with me though, I think I'd be more freaked out hearing a little gun turn on and then you have a needle just hammering you. Like,
yeah, probably.
But
and I
it-
don't even think it's that big of an issue. Have you ever had your, have you ever like had a diabetic test done where they just like,
you know how many needles I've had stuck in me in the
Well,
past 6 months?
yeah, I know.
Come on, man.
But I like that quick little like bloodletting
yeah,
yeah,
I get that.
thing. That doesn't fucking hurt.
No, it's quick and painless.
Yeah. But and I don't even think needles are that bad ultimately. It's just I can tell myself that now, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I could probably have a doctor like come to my house and I'd be all right.
Yeah.
But it's in those rooms, like, I don't know. It's just in my mind.
It's the environment.
I'm like, that's where people
Mostly.
die.
Like,
You know what I mean?
I hate hospitals. Like, absolutely. Just
Fucking
from
awful.
history and everything, like, from my history and all. But, like, if I go to, like, a doctor downtown or something and have to get a shot or whatever, it's a totally different environment than a hospital. So I don't freak out as much.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, especially because if you're in a hospital or whatever, then you have to wear the gown, and you have to put on those stupid socks, and then you have to do a bunch of things. And I guess you're right, though, with the ear piercing thing, because I had my ears pierced, and I thought it was going to be, like, horrible pain or whatever, and it's, like, quick pain and then done.
yeah.
Yeah, easy.
And then you kind of have like a badge of courage.
Yeah, and then now, but I didn't do it myself. I pride you on that. I definitely pride you. Like, that's a pretty ballsy move, sir.
It's not that bad.
Not that bad?
No.
What
it's
all
really
did you just do nose or ears? Or both?
Ears and nose and eyebrow.
Got your eyebrow pierced?
Yeah.
Were you emo at the time? Or were you
No,
just
that was
seeing-
way before emo.
Oh, okay.
It was more
You're starting a trend.
We kind of were, to be
Yeah.
honest, in high school, because we all had our hair dyed different colors and
Yeah.
shit.
Now back to the 18-19 thing. It's like that thing that you said earlier to me, like a couple days ago, whenever I did and I coughed and stuff, and I like hit a vape and I wasn't paying attention, and it was set way too high and too strong, and I
Yeah.
just went after it. You make a very good point. Like you say, people my age, it's so true. Plus, my generation, we're so ballsy. Like we don't care. Like
No,
now there is some of us that are very precautious. But like most of, especially us guys, you know how much stupid stuff we did? Like it's ridiculous, or still do.
and have you noticed you're not the same testosterone-filled
Yeah,
crazy guy
No,
you used to
were-
be?
Yeah,
Yeah, wait like 10 years. It's even worse. It's like some guy comes up and like pushes your chick, and he's like, "I'm gonna beat your ass, bitch," and you just slowly start moving away. Like, I have no idea who that chick is. God, fuck her. She's
yeah,
an
like,
asshole.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I mean seriously, though, you do. I don't know. It's just you start rationalizing.
I do hate that. I did have a girlfriend one time that was like, she got hit or whatever, and she looked at me and looked at the guy, and she goes, "My boyfriend's gonna kick your ass." And I said, "Why did you throw me into this?" Like,
Yeah, see, I don't deal with that.
I don't
But
know.
no, you want to throw, you can go. I'm not fighting.
Yeah, like I'm all in for equal rights. Go kick
Yes,
his ass. Like,
exactly.
you got this. Like I'll be at your side cheering you on. Like
If a woman is being attacked, that's one thing.
yeah, that's a different thing.
But
like
if she
I'll
starts
jump
it,
in. Yeah,
too, like if you've been in a
pushed
movie
him,
theater,
and then she pushed him back. Like she pushed him, and then he pushed her back.
was it like at a concert or something like that?
No, we were just hanging out like like a hookah bar or whatever. The
Was
Med.
it a stranger?
Like yeah, total different guy.
Oh, that's kind of weird.
I was like, what is going on? Like she was just looking for me to show my masculinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dumped her 2 days later. Like,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
have you ever been at a movie theater when like your woman yells at a bunch of people in front, "Hey, shut up," and then like turns around and there's like a whole bunch of people?
yeah,
Yeah, that's when like you have that look with one of the guys, and you're like, "I don't fucking, this isn't me."
yeah.
And like, but she got his girlfriend going, and he's like, "Fuck, I can't control this shit either."
Yeah. I honestly,
Yeah, I bail on that situation.
I got into a situation one time, and this guy, we were like same size, like 6 foot, around that. And the girl I was with, and I was just first date I've ever been on, right, with her. That's it. We went and got food at Olive Garden, and then we get into a movie theater at the Warren. But mind you, this was off Tinder, right? So I'm just meeting her, really.
Oh shit!
And we're in Olive Garden, and this girl bumps this other girl, and then bumps her boyfriend or whatever. They started yelling at each other, and like they're like, "My boyfriend's gonna kick your boy." I was like, and everything. And me and him looked at each other like he literally looked at me and said, "Do you want to go get a booth by ourselves?"
See, I respect that guy.
I was like,
that
"Yeah,
guy.
man."
That's how you train your spouse. That's
Exactly.
like I'm not putting up with that shit.
No,
Yeah, it happens a lot.
both basic white bitches. I'm just putting it out there.
No, you're 100% right.
Like I
Because
don't
they think they're
understand.
entitled.
Exactly.
And yeah. No, and I mean, at least if you got a black girlfriend, they're gonna throw down.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just I'm entitled to this bitch. No, it's bitch. You piss me off. I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, like
And it's, in Mexican, well, they're just gonna be knives are coming out. You better just run the fuck away.
yeah.
I don't know. I won't put up with that.
No.
Like, just no. You want to start a fight, then you can end the fight. But
Exactly. Like, especially in that situation, if you think about it, those two girls are fighting with each other, but yet don't have the balls to throw down and want their boyfriends to fight it out to see who's the more manly person.
like, who's gonna get fucked? Gonna be you.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because I'm not gonna get hit.
Yeah. Why would I do that?
By the way, I'm being told that you have a sexy voice, Keegan,
Oh, yeah?
and I was also told to turn you up. But yeah,
Who's that from?
I fucked that up. Anyway, we will be back. I have to cut.
Yeah.
We will be back with Mark Rubens. He's an incredibly talented ventriloquist. He's going to be at the Looney Bin tonight and tomorrow night. He's got a special show at 5 o'clock tomorrow, which is like an all-ages show.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, call ahead. Get reservations for that. And tonight, the early show will be 8 o'clock. The late show will be 10:30. And Saturday, I think it's 7:30 and 10. Yeah, 7:30 and 10. And for all of those shows, make sure that you call ahead because the Looney Bin sells out really quick, and it can be a real bitch to get in there. So just don't anticipate being able to get in. Anyway, guys, we will be right back. All right.
Or the mic's off.
are back. So I was telling you off air a story that my producer, or our producer slash co-host, Tanya Buentello, had informed me about, and it was in Oklahoma,
Oh well, of course. I mean,
and it was a sheriff who apparently banged a whole bunch of farm animals.
oh well, so it wasn't just a regular. It was a sheriff, so he was up in ranks.
Yeah, he had some jurisdiction over that.
My question is what goes through your mind that goes, dudes, women ain't interesting anymore. I'm gonna go ahead and fuck this chicken. Like,
Yeah,
chicken, goats, all the above. Like, let me squeeze an udder from a cow. That gets the job done. Like, no. Why the fuck would you do that? Like, just imagine if you were the farmer, okay, and you put yourself.
okay, actually, I take that back, and I am sorry. An L.A. police officer.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I told you I knew
It was somewhere.
small parts of the story, but not all of it.
But
Boise City or Boise City, L.A.
what farm animal did he bang?
Louisiana, maybe. Maybe that makes more sense now. Yeah, Louisiana. There it is. I apologize.
So L.A. for the abbreviation.
Yeah, so that's right. That was the thing I saw. I didn't.
Sorry,
see this.
California. That's
Yeah. And Louisiana does make sense too. If you look at this gentleman,
Oh, definitely. What animal did he fuck?
I don't know. It didn't say.
Sexual
Or-
acts with animal was found. Devices belonging to yet man. Oh. So he's not young. He's 38. He's upper, like, he's in his 30s.
That's a pretty young age.
Well,
I mean,
I'm just what.
yeah, I mean, you're not old enough to.
Well,
I
like,
mean, you're getting old.
The thing
You shouldn't be
is-
a running back in the NFL anymore.
No.
But you
Well,
know,
the thing is, though, is that he's not some new recruit that just got on the police force. He's a sheriff.
who knows how long he's been fucking him though?
Yeah, like, but back to the thing though, is just imagine this. So you're a farmer, right? In Louisiana, I don't know, whatever. So, and it's like, I don't know what time he fucked the animal, what animal it was. Say you got cows, right? You're gonna need a step ladder to fuck a cow. Like, let's be completely honest. Like, cows
and
are pretty big animals.
Here's the interesting thing, and I hope they release it. You know, like when there's a shooting,
Yeah,
they'll release the video.
the video after. Oh God, that would be fantastic.
It's I mean, he got caught with the pornography.
Oh, he videotaped it.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
That's what I want to
So
see.
bestiality is what he's going for.
Yes, I want to see I think with himself.
So he.
I see. I want to see his vest cam while he's banging a cow.
Now my question is
like
that
POV. That'd be a really weird
there
experience.
you go, like firsthand. So you think about it. This guy, is it his farm? Probably not.
No,
I
no.
would not imagine so. So if you're a farmer and you walk out of your house and all you hear is these horrible moaning noises from a farm animal,
Chicken getting fucked. Yeah.
right? And dear Lord knows what a chicken sounds like having a cock inside of it.
I actually do.
Oh,
know.
you do?
I do know. A
Oh.
friend of mine sent me a video.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she likes to send horrible videos.
Oh, so, well,
And this
sorry
is
for your ears.
he got in trouble 20 counts of sexual abuse
Oh.
of animals by performing sexual acts with an animal, and 20 counts of sexual abuse of animals by filming sexual acts with an animal. Here's the thing that gets me though, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think we give cops too much of an out.
Yeah.
You know, it's a black guy had a gun and I shot him. Yeah, you know what? We gotta let it slide.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I can see that as systemic racism, and okay,
Well,
not that I accept it, but I understand that that's a racial act. But his bond in this situation for fucking animals, his bond was set at $350,000, but he's put on administrative leave.
What?
Like,
Just leave?
what does it take to get fired at being a cop?
Granted, he's in Louisiana, so.
I mean, yeah.
But the thing is, though, is like you walk outside and you hear your fucking chicken get fucked. Like, I think you're gonna be pretty on. I'm surprised he didn't get shot.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean,
Like, I'm surprised.
farmers don't put up with that shit.
No, you know how many farmers I've helped out and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're like the most blatant ass. They'll tell you what the fuck they want to, whenever the fuck they want to, however the fuck they want to do it. You know what I mean?
No, in fact, my co-host, one of my co-hosts, Tanya, she used to live by a farm.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say, there was a certain donkey that I don't want to go further into it, but there was a lot of times I had to help her pull buckshot out of her. They don't put up with that shit.
Well, then, so we go back to the cop thing or whatever. You know what I mean? The racial and everything. Like, oh, the black guy had a gun or whatever. Did you ever? This was a while ago. Watch that video of that lady that kicked the door down and just shot the dude.
Oh,
That
yeah.
lady police officer.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you think of it as a ways out, right? That lady said that she smelt marijuana
Right.
and kicked a dude's door down. And
just
he was like,
shot.
put your hands up. The dude didn't even have time, and she destroyed him.
No, that's one of those big cases. I'm just saying, in general, what the hell does it take to get fired?
Apparently not fucking animals.
Apparently not, which I think any other job,
Oh, yeah.
you lose it. I mean,
Oh, hey, Tim, what'd you do? Oh, I just came back from the office from fucking a cow. Like,
would you go to your doctor if you found out that he spent, his evenings banging chickens?
probably not.
Yeah, I'd be done with the guy. I'd be like, you're trying to tell me about healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably got some chicken aids or something. Like,
Nah, I'm good.
no, like, and that dude's giving you medical advice. He's like, oh, well, you got this cough, get this medicine. What medicine does it take to quit fucking chickens?
You know how they always put you in the gown?
Oh, most definitely.
It's funny. Your doctor would come out and he gives you a cow suit. Just bend over. We got to check your prostate.
Yeah. This doesn't feel like a hand.
Hey, you're moving too much.
Yeah.
This
Quit
isn't
squirming.
This isn't how it normally goes. He gives you a
Can
bell.
you,
just to, like,
can
hold.
you move for me, please? What does this have to do with my medical examination? It's just a part of it.
We
man.
check a lot this
We
way.
yeah.
That would be
Why
great.
does this suit have udders? I'm a dude. Like, I don't
Will you
understand.
stop squeezing my udders?
Yeah,
I mean, it's not attached to me, but it's still weird.
That's not an udder, man. That's my.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know what it takes to get fired as a cop.
Okay, so my question is as a police officer, right? Not just a regular citizen. So you definitely know in the laws of what's right and wrong. You've had to study this immensely.
Kind of.
Kind of, right?
Not to shit talk cops, but I actually know. In fact, a sheriff that we saw today, his wife says that he's pretty stupid. Like, she's told my wife that he had trouble with the math.
To get in?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
And I guess the math is like simple, bare bones, plus minus kind of math.
How many bullets do you have in your gun? 1, 2, 3.
He's
Starts
using his
counting on his
fingers,
fingers.
yeah.
Like, oh, I got to get my toes out. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, no, I've heard he's pretty.
What if they, like, instead of, like, grades, they just gave out, like, smile stickers?
Right? Like, you get a star. That means you get to be a
star.
sheriff.
The
And I don't want
silver one means you almost made it. A gold one means you did it.
Try harder and you'll
Try
really-
harder.
you'll
You
get
have
gold.
4 attempts to do this.
And again, I don't want to shit talk cops.
No, like police officers do immaculate things sometimes. Like we all know that there's really good cops out there, and they mean really well about what they're
Yeah,
doing. Like, but then there's just that group that fucks it all up for all of them. Like, what if you went up to a sheriff today, like in our vicinity of Sedgwick County, right? And it's like, oh, hey man, how do you feel about fucking animals? And they'd be like, that's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
You know what? I'd give that guy a gold star.
And if you went to an average sheriff as well, and you're like, hey man, what's 2 + 2? He'd probably
like,
be like 4.
4.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in this one instance, I've heard it. You really don't need to know the law that much, because apparently you don't even need to know math that much.
I mean, what is math?
Right.
Like,
no.
you just got to know. Just imagine if that guy gets a hold of, like, how much was your drug bust? 79 kilos. Did you do the math right?
Yeah. What's that in pounds?
What's that?
What?
Let me get my calculator. Does the whole equation wrong?
He does it in the British
He's
pounds.
got to Google it. He's like, oh, hey, man, this equals 2 pounds. No, it doesn't. No, definitely not. Not
Or
on this one.
yeah, like he Googles it in the translation in England.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
so it's like that's how much it would sell for. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, wouldn't be
Oh.
surprised.
It's actually like thousands and thousands of dollars. That doesn't make any sense.
What? No.
What? No, man. This is actually supposed to be the DEA's job. I gotta go.
and yeah, that's what happens more than not.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because those guys can do math.
So we did have Mark Rubin call. He might just be late calling, but he's not calling now. I don't see,
I didn't see anything over here.
and I'm dumb when it comes to.
But it would pop up over here though.
Yeah, and it'd pop up over here as well. So I guess, and I hate doing it, but I do want to bring up another story, and if he calls, then we'll cover afterwards.
What do you got?
So I kind of go in a lot on the market. I've been talking about the economy, and it's dropping for about 3 months, because I've said,
I understand.
look, the economy is going to shit, and people need to be prepared for that. No matter, at the time, people are like, well, the economy is fantastic. Trump says it's great, whatever. And
But there's a lot of people that don't research. Like,
right.
now, granted, I don't know that much. So, I mean.
And there's a lot to know, and it's really complicated. I listen to experts, and they tell me. And
I would hope so.
they have been right most of this time. So, I go with it. But so we're fastly approaching the shutdown as well, as we were talking about before, where Trump was like, hey, I'll abandon the wall. Oh, wait. The morning show on Fox made fun of me. Oh, no. If Fox and Friends is talking shit, I'm shutting down the government. So that is actually having an incredibly negative effect on the market as well.
When was the last time the government was shut down?
It was in Obama.
Was it in Obama?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't even remember why it was shut down.
I don't remember. I want to say because of the health care.
Maybe. Oh, no, that wasn't it. Because, no, I'm thinking of when Obamacare, when it first opened up and it froze because thousands and thousands of people were trying to get on it one time online.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think prior to that.
But I don't know.
And I'm just guessing. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Well, back to whatever.
But yeah, so it does look like, and look, the market, it's pretty much going to be shut down until Wednesday anyway. We're not going to know too much.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still see there's obviously major CEOs of companies don't just quit on Christmas. like, oh, it's Christmas break, guys. We're done. I mean, they're doing deals all the time.
Deals. Scrooge McDuck.
Buying some. Yeah.
Like, definitely.
What was that movie with Nicolas Cage? The Family Man. I mean, that's pretty real to life as far as how much those guys just give a shit about money. And they're, they're working all weekend, all holidays, whatever. So you have an idea where it's going to go, but no actual numbers are going to come out until Wednesday. Unless you kind of trace and follow the Japanese market. And then you follow, what's the other one? New Zealand. Those are the two that you can kind of bounce back when everything else is shut down. Yeah. That's only when. New Zealand, you don't really trust it that much. But, or the Chinese market, I said Japanese, I apologize. But the Chinese market is already reporting, like, massive drops.
Yeah.
And it all has to do because people are ready for the shutdown, too.
But what's the major cause?
Major cause?
Major cause of this one, though.
We got two of them. For one, the Fed had to raise interest rates.
Okay.
And the reason why you do is because if you don't raise the interest rate, you're balancing how you're going to put the value into bonds or to cash, essentially. And the more that you keep the interest rates down on cash, the less the bonds are actually valued at. And if you don't, and I didn't know this, but most of our mortgages, our car loans, a lot of stuff like that,
house
is backed
loans
in
and everything.
Yeah, it's all backed on bonds. So they're trying to avert another housing crisis, but by doing that, they're dropping the other side, the actual like fluid cash.
Yeah,
essentially, not like $20 in your hand, but the actual fluidity of purchasing of stocks and stuff like that.
Well, it's all about. I mean, the markets. We're in a free market economy, so I mean, like you always have to for a free market economy to work. I mean, I learned this at school for business wise, that there always has to be a flow of cash for a free market economy to work.
Of course,
there always has to be. I mean, because if a flow of cash just stops, then the bonds are going to completely drop.
and it's promissory notes. That's
Yeah,
whatever.
like anything.
It's not. Yeah, just like my $20 is only going to be worth 18. No,
no,
it's
it's
not.
not. It'll always be worth $20.
It won't be able to buy as much.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they're talking about that being like just this overlooming shadow if you pay attention to the economy. So yeah, Merry Christmas on that.
Yeah.
Have a good time enjoying.
Now, the thing to me, though, is like, say if I owned Spirit, right, and you're still doing deals all day, right? You're still with your family and stuff, and
You're just
but
on
you're
phone
that dude's
24/7,
always
yeah.
on his phone, like watching everything, and you don't get any of those certain numbers back till Wednesday. Me personally, that scared the living shit out of me.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a really rough time.
Like, to
I
have
mean,
that-
again, fuck them because they're rich.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that you think about it, and the number one thing that I think is the shittiest thing about those big companies is they save money by laying fucking people off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because they get to that point of where, oh, well, we're going to go under, or to a certain point of we're losing a bunch of money, fire these people, and then we'll hire them in 6 weeks.
Or have you heard, you know how Sears is going out of business?
Yeah.
So the whole story behind that, and this is not uncommon. So the new CEO of Sears, he was a hedge fund manager,
Mm-hmm.
and he purchased Sears. He then said, "We're going to grow Sears
Yeah.
and usually that means going in debt."
Mm-hmm.
Well, Sears then borrowed money from his hedge fund,
Oh, no.
and now that they're too far in debt, it just never worked.
It won't. They can't pull
And
themselves out.
he didn't plan on it.
No.
He's paying himself
Yeah.
essentially to dive bomb this other company,
Yeah.
namely Sears. All these people got
Well-
laid off, no severance packages, but the judge ruled this week that all the top CEOs get their bonuses. There's about 19 of them, and it's going to be over $4 million
Now, on the bonuses,
or $8 million.
on the laying off people and everything and the bonuses like that, how'd you feel about Chevy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That woman took home a $22 million bonus.
Right,
That's ridiculous.
it is.
And they closed, what, 14 plants down?
But you're kind of a conservative, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe in trickle down?
No, not really. I mean, there.
I mean, even the name
Sort
itself
of.
is really shitty.
It
Like,
is-
oh,
it's
the
a
rich,
very shitty
the
thing to
rich
do.
people get to trickle
And
down on me.
the
Like,
reason
even
why-
that just sounds shitty.
The reason why I really hate it is because trickle down is completely shits on the farmers. Like, and
But it never works.
it
either.
never works at all. Like, it doesn't. It just never has.
No.
I don't like. I'm all about like conservative wise of in a situation like I still have a heart. Like I'm not like fuck these people. I don't give a shit about them. You know what I mean? Like people got to do what you got to do. But to me, I'll always be conservative on the fact of I will always put like myself and my money in my hands first. Like because I have to not necessarily as if I'm a billionaire and I'm going to sit here and go fuck all you people. I'm conservative because I'm consuming as much as I can for my own personal being. Because
Right.
if I was a billionaire, I'd still help people out. Like if I owned $1 billion company and a guy came up to me and was like, "Hey man, our workers need a $2 raise and I know I have that cash in the bank." Yeah, of course I'm going to do that because I'm going to help those people out. But like in all, if it came down to the fact of you're going to fuck yourself or you're going to fuck these people, I definitely would choose myself.
Yeah, I somewhat get you. I think you have kind of a little bit of a. So what you're saying is you are in favor of like tax cuts,
Yeah.
which I think to an extent everyone kind of is. It all depends. I mean, like for instance, this latest round of tax cuts that we had, right?
Yeah.
The Trump tax cuts. So the numbers on that are that everybody received arguably 2 cents extra an hour.
Yeah.
If you're the top billionaires, though, and CEOs, you received a fuck ton more. In fact, we tripled how much we normally do stock buyback, which, by the way, that also adds to a failing economy, is when you falsely inflate stocks by doing the stock buyback. And then look how much people are, look how much this Sears stock is. It's worth all that. So I'm going to sell it now. Well,
Yeah.
then it actually has to prove its value,
And then it has to.
and
go
it has
through,
no real value.
Yeah.
Well, a very small value,
Value.
and then that causes the stock market to crash as well. But
Like, I'm not like super right. You know that I'm not like super right side conservative
no,
type of dude. Like, I'm
I
pretty
was going to ask
reasonable.
you what part of you actually is conservative, because
Well-
you're for national health care.
Well, yeah, of course. I think everyone, even if you are conservative or not. I mean, think
I
about
would
it.
like to think that.
Well, I probably know the most conservative guy you could ever meet, and he's for it. Like, to me, like, sitting there and talking to him and going, yeah, I'm nowhere near your level of this. Like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand why you're talking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain points that he makes that it's like, damn, dude. Jesus, fuck.
You don't have to completely swallow the red pill.
Yeah, like, but, you know,
Okay, so yeah, but you're for that. Climate change, you believe in that, don't you?
no.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
and
I
you,
mean-
you've told me before you think something should be done about it. You're on top of part of it is your idea of economy. That's a great way to build industry is by creating solar panels and stuff like that.
Well, down to it, I'm more of a businessman probably than anything.
But yeah, I mean, but you still
That's what I was going to major in, is in business.
you'll endure that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some major. You want to get money out of politics.
I think everyone should get money out of politics.
You're
I'm
a
not
fan.
gonna lie.
You're
Like,
a fan of
because
Richard Ojeda.
Of what?
Richard Ojeda, the military guy, ex-military guy who's running for
Oh
president.
well, I just like him because of his enthusiasm.
Yes,
like he's. It's not the fact that like I agree with everything that he's doing, because I don't. I think he's got a lot of flaws. I do, but
of course,
like he's going to, because he's got this can-do attitude. Which, how many fucking times did you see that before? And then nothing fucking pans out. Like, come on. Like,
no,
how
I
many-
think if
yeah.
he actually gets in the running,
I think-
he's gonna get shot and killed.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah,
That's like, it's just bound to happen. Now,
I mean, did you hear he wants to put a limit on how much congressmen
well, Congress
make?
can make, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like-
that's not gonna work.
That's amazing, though.
Oh yeah, well, because think about this. Like, with him though, is that you can see when he talks, you can see every vein in his neck pop out.
Yeah.
Like, he's so mad, it's ridiculous. Which is a good way to go about things, because who wants nothing more than some angry fucking man that's all like sitting here trying to make change? Because if you have a dude that's like, yeah, bro, like,
Like Jeb Bush.
yeah, I
Yeah.
just think that we should like, yeah, change some stuff. No, you're gonna be like, this dude's a fucking dipshit.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No, you're not gonna get
And-
any.
But I think that some of the stuff that he's gonna try to do isn't gonna work.
No,
Absolutely
no,
not.
I don't think so. Not at all. But I'm just saying, some of his ideology you get behind.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I mean,
I
we
would
can
say-
sit here and talk about just having him as president would be the first life-changing thing that our government would experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I will have to say, I was listening to Joe Rogan, right? And I think that he made a hilarious point. And I do agree with Joe Rogan on some things, but on other things, we both know that he changes his mind and he does everything
Constantly.
like constantly.
Yeah.
So you can't like I love Joe Rogan, I love his stand up, and I love everything he does. He's hilarious. But the thing is that he made a really good point. Like, for 8 years, we were in a serious, committed relationship, right, before Donald Trump with Obama. He's that nice, gentle dude that's always going to talk like nice and even and
Right,
all this
yeah.
stuff, and he's going to try to treat you right. And then you break up with that dude, what are you going to do? You're going to go fuck some horse. Like, you're going to go batshit crazy. And that's what we do. We always have done it. We've flip-flopped.
No, I think you're
Flip-flop.
right.
Like, all the time. And it's crazy.
And to be fair, I think we cosmetically we flip-flop.
Yeah.
But internally, I think they're both doing about the same amount of damage.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
I mean, and then that's where I say, like, someone like a Richard Ojeda or a Bernie Sanders, that's gonna be shocked.
Now,
Like,
a lot
it's gonna be holy shit.
a lot of things though is that whenever like everyone in my age group was going batshit crazy over Bernie. Like, let's face it, it didn't matter. You were going crazy because he was saying free college and he was saying all this stuff.
Which we could easily do. Yeah.
Socialism, like, you know, and people were like, oh my
Democratic
god.
socialism,
Yeah,
yeah.
granted, I was not really for Bernie. I mean, like, I don't know, like, because there's a lot of granted, we could do, free college and
Without a problem.
all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But when Bernie sat there and talked about it, he kept repeating himself.
I think he was doing that so people would understand. Yeah,
but then
it's
they sat there in a
convoluted.
conference with him, Hillary, who was the third main,
Martin O'Malley.
yeah,
I can't believe I remember that.
I don't. But he sat there and they said, "Well, how are you going to make socialism work in America?" And he couldn't answer it.
Yeah, well, I think because they framed that question, how are you going to make socialism work? Well, socialism already is working in America. And, I go back to that a million times. If you don't think so, then the next time someone's trying to rob you, don't call the cops. Your house is on fire, don't call the fire department. If you don't drive on the roads. Don't send your kid to public school. Like, socialism is already in all... I think, I talked to James Thompson about this a little bit off air. We were talking about how he ultimately lost because he got pegged as a socialist.
Yeah.
But all that he's trying to do is actually make the social programs we have in place stronger. Okay, here's one. Did you notice any big major amount of money from the tax cuts that we just had?
I don't think so. Not really.
Did they really do anything for you at all?
No.
Yeah, but the top 1%, top 10% even got enough to make millions off of, right? And that all came from our money. I mean, that was our money because we get taxed higher on that. That same amount of money, that 1.5 trillion, that could give everybody who went to college, it could clear their debt and pay for free college from the future on. Now, how much more money would that actually generate if these people aren't paying $500-600 a month on college and they're putting that $500-600 into the economy? You see what I'm saying? Like how it would actually it's the same thing. We were talking about the healthcare, and I'm not going to paint you as being wrong on this because we were both agreeing. If you pay a little bit more on taxes, you're going to have that much more extra in your check, though.
Because I don't care if you're right, left, all this stuff, but like I don't know if you've noticed, but like not as sick as in like a dirty way, but America is sick. Like as like illness. Like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous how many people like per day go to a hospital and can't pay for it. And they just kick them out.
Yeah.
Like,
there's that conversation like that a doctor has to have where he says, "Hey, look, you have cancer. We have this drug." And then he walks out and then you go pick it up and that's $500 for a week.
Yeah.
I guess I die. I mean, like, and that's the option. That you can't go to the doctor and be like, well, is something else you can? Doctor's like, I don't control that price.
At first, I am going to tell you, I wasn't really for it until I got really hurt. Like, and then I realized the benefits of being able to, because if I were to have to pay for all of that, I would have been screwed for the rest of my life. Like, ridiculously screwed. Now, granted, a company had to pay for it because I got hurt at work, but it still opened my eyes a little bit to say, okay, then why can't the government pay for universal health care and all this stuff? Like, because for the amount of surgeries and everything that you go through in a process, like when I screwed up my hand, you have to think about it like, you go through 16 surgeries at least. How much per surgery? How much how much you have to worry about? Like, I know a guy that got hurt bull riding, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the minimum, his parents paid at least $70,000 for internal illness and internal damage.
Injuries. Yeah, whose parents have $70,000?
They didn't.
You know what I mean?
I mean, loans. They had to do anything they could, scratch up anything, and that's why even if you are more right-sided, which I'm not saying right-side people don't think, that there's not people out there on the right side that think, oh no, universal health care is definitely not a thing. You know what I mean?
There's obviously
70,
75% of the country that wants it. So there's got to be right-wing people that want it.
That's the reason why when a lot of people come into conversation about it and they try to say, well, are you conservative or right side? Like, in that situation, I mean, I guarantee there are some left-sided people that don't want it for some odd reason. I don't understand. Like, probably, I would think
I mean,
so.
I
There's
know,
people
like,
from all different
I know
sides
a guy
of the
like
spectrum.
Jamie Dimon considers himself to be a liberal, but I mean, he's the CEO of Saks Fifth Avenue. Like, that dude's not a liberal. Like, he's not on the left. I don't care what he says. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. And then you look at the numbers and you say, okay, well, our current healthcare system costs $34 trillion.
Yeah.
Single payer would cost $36 trillion. Well, why the fuck wouldn't we do that?
Exactly.
I mean, and then when you actually then look into how much you're going to save on top of that, then it actually gets down to about $32 trillion.
Because
We just saved $2 trillion.
I get it that there's people out there, and a lot of people, when I said that, conservative wise, and they always ask, are you for universal, healthcare, like for everyone? And then they go, well, yeah. And they go, well, then you have to pay higher taxes or whatever. And it's like, okay, yeah, so I'm not conserving as much money as you'd think, right? But then they don't sit there and look at the outlook. Because in the long run, if I don't have to pay for thousands and thousands of dollars and I'm conserving and consuming that, that's more conservative than I think of just not paying an extra tax bill.
Yeah, no, I agree. And not to mention, yeah, there again, like there's companies that you'll get on and, okay, yeah, you got insurance. The family plan is $500.
Exactly.
So you're not paying that anymore.
Yeah.
And no, I'm just saying, and we had a religious conversation earlier, and you're not very religious.
No.
Like, what parts of you are actually conservative? Like, I would argue that you're probably right down the middle.
Maybe. I mean, I just,
I mean, I know that you're against gay people.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I get that.
Well, yeah,
you hate
definitely.
the gays.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. No, everyone should be able to fuck whoever they want to, except for animals. I think that is beyond.
Unless you're a sheriff from
Unless
Louisiana. Then you're fine.
L.A. No, sorry, not California.
See, now you're doing it.
Yeah. L.A.
Yeah.
California love.
No, but yeah, it's a conversation that you just have back and forth constantly,
And I think, though, throughout, like aging, like when I was 18, I thought I was like really right-sided or whatever, and then you learn more about yourself because you put yourself out, because you go from being with your parents, which your parents make a lot of what you think of decisions should be, right?
yeah.
Like you do a lot of that. And then you get out to the real world and you start realizing, okay, I'm not as conservative as I am. Like we talked about earlier today, and, conservative-wise, and, earlier I said, yeah, conservative-wise, and then we had more conversation about religion and all that stuff. And then you heard me before this, and you said, well, you're kind of conservative, and I went, yeah. It's because I thought about it more,
And
besides the hectic work that...
And you're still in your little, your lower 20s, and
Yeah.
that changes. I mean, yeah, you're right. The more you find out, the more. I mean,
And
I
then
used
you
to
become
be.
the more person that you are.
I used to be a very staunch conservative.
Yeah.
Like, I was actually, I can't remember his name. He was a governor of Kansas, but I was
Sam Brownback?
no, thank God, no. But I was at one of his. I was on stage during one of his speeches because I wrote a letter to him about how bad it is to burn flags.
Oh, okay.
And now I really don't care. Like I'm like, look, if that's what you feel like you got to do, I don't even understand
The thing is, I get the stance that people have about burning flags. Like, don't disgrace company or whatever, your country and stuff like that. But if you think about it, they went and paid for that flag, and then they went and set it on fire.
Yeah, it's their property.
That's all them. Like, you can, like, if you want to go out and buy the biggest dildo that you want in the entire world, be my guest. Like, I don't care what you do with your money. Like, you made it.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing about, sort of on, like, consuming. Like, you did your work, you worked for it, and you consumed the money that you wanted, and then you went out and bought the thing that you wanted. Like, what? Who am I to sit here and go, you can't buy that?
It's funny, too, because that debate was huge back then. No one gives a shit anymore.
No.
No one cares at all. But that was such a big debate. Oh, no, people shouldn't burn flags. And then other people, it's my free speech, And as King of the Hill taught me, that's the way they dispose of flags, too.
Yeah, they do.
Because they burn them. So, like, what does it matter
but
if
they don't burn them? They can't touch the ground, though.
Right.
So they burn them inside a controlled environment.
But so what's it matter if you burn it
Cotton Hill.
when you first buy it or when you burn it 20 years down the road? Like,
Now,
And how many people do let their flags touch the ground or leave
lot.
them out in the rain and
now
the snow?
the
and
thing is, though, is that a lot of people. Have you ever noticed this? Like, if you pay attention to somebody, say they're taking their flag down, do you ever see them fold it?
no,
No, I don't either.
no,
And it'll touch the
do
ground,
that rappy thing,
and then they
wind
wrap it,
up,
right?
Yeah.
And then they'll go and it'll touch the ground or whatever. And I watched a guy do this where I live, about two blocks down from me, and I was walking. And the guy rolled up his flag, and it whipped around the ground, and he looked around to see if anyone noticed. Like, he was
Really?
scared. Like, he was like, oh, my God, did
Shit,
anyone
it
see?
touched the ground.
And you know what I did? I looked him straight in the eyes.
Yeah.
Dead in the eyes.
saw
And
that
I was like, you
cocksucker.
better burn that. No, because what's he going to do? He's going to wipe it off and make sure it's in good condition, and he's going to put it back up when it's done thunderstorming.
And he probably puts it in his house and just throws it on the floor inside. I bet
Oh,
you.
I bet so.
You know?
Like, I bet he's like, well, it's not the ground outside.
Yeah.
Well, technically, it's not the ground because there's a basement under this house. Like,
And ultimately, who gives a shit?
yeah, like that's another thing. Like, you're inside your own house.
Yeah.
Like, do whatever you want to. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to throw a party, whack it in every room, like, be my guest.
That's pretty much what I do all weekend. I mean, honestly, I
Really?
don't care if
With
you
your-
want to. If you want to have an ISIS flag outside of your house, I don't care. It's whatever you
You're
want
gonna
to
get a lot
do.
of beatings.
Yeah, I mean,
You're in Kansas.
you're gonna really get egged, and you got some shit going on. But
You know what the
That's-
funniest thing? You said egging, and it kind of flipped my, to like TPing people's houses or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Do you see what this guy did to his hometown in New Hampshire? There was this guy that he had a problem with in high school. 10 years later, he came back to see his parents, right?
Yeah.
He had a drone, and he set it up for 2 rows of toilet paper to be dispensed from this drone. So he's TPing this whole guy's house over the trees, over his
That is
house.
fucking hilarious.
And then he got done or whatever, and then the thing had a button on it, and it launched eggs. Isn't that fantastic? That's the smart way of thinking.
That really is.
Because then you could be at your house watching your program, and you're not out there running.
I like that. Speaking of that, though, in a way, drones. Did you
Yeah.
see where?
Nice segue.
Well, actually, you kind of reminded me of a story that was going on, like all yesterday, the night before. There was an airport in England that was shut down because of drones.
I didn't hear about that.
So I wish I had more information.
So
I don't have it pulled up right
What
now.
exactly happened? Like,
So okay, there's this major airport. There's two major airports in England, and this one, they were near the time of takeoff. They actually shut down for night flights, by the way, over there.
Okay.
Which is weird. I didn't
Wow.
know that.
this is America.
Right? Yeah, we don't stop here in America.
We're 24 go.
So what happened was they started seeing these drones.
Like, were they just flying?
Yeah,
onto
like
the-
really
to the-
low and all
Well,
around
it's
there.
because they were trying to land them.
And it was freaking them out. They're like, oh, we need to do like a 2-hour shutdown.
Oh, what would be fantastic, by the way, is if you put, like, if it was dark outside in England and you had your drone and you put a ghost over it and float it by somebody's window. Wouldn't that scare the shit out of them?
Would be. But so it was at 8 or 9 in the morning, and they shut down. Okay, we're gonna be open at 10.
Okay.
And they went like 30 minutes without seeing a drone, and they're like, okay, all right. As soon as they about opened up, the drone showed up again.
Well,
This happened for a total of 32 hours.
my serious question on a takeoff: what's a drone gonna do to it?
Well,
I mean, unless
I
it
was
goes
thinking-
in the engine.
I was thinking that too in regard, and it wasn't just one; it was a couple.
Was it some guy trying to
From what
delay
I
a flight?
understand, and here's how bad it got. They called the military in. There were snipers,
Shut it down.
and all this time, the drone is still like
So they're trying to shoot it out of the air.
trying to shoot out of the air.
So they're shooting with people by them.
They first said that they were not going to do that, but snipers were spotted. So I can't confirm that they ever tried to shoot it. The big thing that turned out they were all afraid of is that it was a terrorist attack.
What would
don't
you do?
know what ever happened at the end of the story. There's people listening. I go, what happened? I don't know.
No, yeah.
They just announced that they opened it, and that's the last I heard. I'm sure
But
that they're doing an internal investigation.
Just imagine this though, like some kid right? They think it's a terrorist attack, and it's some 10-year-old fucking off. Like,
That's what a lot of people are thinking. Like Philip DeFranco was going on about. He's like, I don't know if you're watching this video, but if you're doing this, fucking stop and run. Like, you're gonna get in major trouble.
I mean, at least he gave him a heads up.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a federal crime to do that.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Let me see. There's
Because if they
So this
caught
was-
the drone, they could figure out where it came from.
this
most
did happen
definitely.
in Gatwick.
Gatwick.
Flights from Gatwick were briefly suspended again on Friday after another sighting of a drone that's caused chaos at one of UK's biggest airports. An airport spokeswoman told CNN officials were made aware of the unconfirmed sightings at about 5:20 p.m. and closed the runway as a precaution. Flights in and out of the airport of South London later resumed. And by the way, this was after the 32-hour shutdown.
Okay.
In a statement, the spokeswoman said, while we investigated airfield movements were suspended, this was a precautionary measure as safety remains our main priority. The military measures we have in place at the airport have provided us with the reassurance necessary that it is safe to reopen our airfield. The latest closure came after more than 32 hours of complete shutdown due to repeated drone sightings, affecting more than 110,000 passengers during the busiest travel period of the year. Thomas Cook flight was the first to land at the airport on Friday after almost 2 days of chaos. A significant number of flights are now landing and taking off, although cancellations and delays continue. Passengers were advised to continue checking the status of their flights with their airline before setting out. Gatwick had been closed since 9 p.m. Wednesday, local time, bar a brief reprieve of 45 minutes earlier Thursday after drones were spotted near the airfield. The last drone sighting was more than 24 hours after the first, leaving hundreds of flights grounded. Let's see.
They did it wrong though for protection. Should have got all of the flight people out there that do like luggage and stuff, butterfly nets.
So the Sussex police said Friday it had active lines of inquiry, and the officers were doing all they could to find those responsible for this deliberate and serious act. That's pretty much. They got the Ministry of Defense
Fantastic.
involved, and they said specialist equipment had been deployed to assist Sussex police in their effort. I mean, ultimately, they don't know.
Yeah.
They can't find the guy, and
That's amazing.
ultimately, it's an asshole move, total asshole.
yeah.
And if I was a
But I have
passenger, I would be pissed.
But I have like that's hilarious.
But yes, I think that's like the greatest
that made
troll.
my day. Like,
Yeah,
fantastic.
I can't believe he went back. Like,
he's like I fucked it up once. Might as well go ahead and do it twice.
I did 32 hours. Now I'm going back
That's
again.
a really good drone though.
Right?
That is fantastic
Have you
about
ever
how
flown a
long
drone?
that lasts. Yeah, they're ridiculously hard to fly.
They are.
Like it's crazy.
I just crash them into stuff, and like
Like,
I can't even
you know
get it
what
really to
reminds
take
me
off.
of? Like as a kid, you'd buy like those stupid little helicopters that you try to fly, and you'd
Yes.
slam them into like grandma's face or something.
Yeah,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And you'd be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to," and you put it up and smack right again, right? And it's not your fault because
No.
it's ridiculously hard. Just taking that and then using that on a pad that's harder to control and flying it perfectly, that's skill.
It is. It
Obviously
is.
skill.
I don't know how long you have to sit with the. I've got like 4 of them over the years,
Yeah.
and each one more expensive than the one before.
Oh, of course.
Because I was like, this one I bought for like $30. It's probably just a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So that's why it sucks. The $200, the $500 one, they're all fucking hard as shit to
Shit to
control. It doesn't
maneuver.
even matter. It's
And
like,
what you don't get is that you're supposed to try to get your skill level on the $30 one before you buy the $500 one,
right.
which it makes sense.
It totally makes sense. I just assume that the $30 one sucks balls, and that's why it was harder to use. But
Yeah.
no, I just have no skill with a drone. It's hard. It's
I
really
fly 'em
hard.
every day. I actually think I'm a pilot. It's
I wish I
pretty
had
cool.
the big readout.
Oh yeah.
Like if you had the big readout in
Yeah.
like kind of a controller kind of
Uh-huh.
situation, I think that'd be all right.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know. It's
Who
kind of the
knows?
same thing though. You ever? Like,
But then you think about it though. There's guys out there maybe listening. They're like, these guys are fucking dumb. Like I can control a $30 one, and it's
I
like,
probably
well,
can.
good for you, man. You're smarter than us.
Yeah, you can definitely do. I mean, I do think like if you had a video game controller, it would be easier.
Well,
but
Xbox, like
yeah, maybe I don't
maybe
know.
PS4.
I still don't even know. Because I mean, you ever drive on
Nintendo
like
controller, AB?
Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah,
and you're just like crashing into shit.
I got pretty good.
You still though
Yeah.
will have the.
Take out a
Of
couple
course, you
pedestrians.
also do go like 40 or 50 miles an hour over the limit while you're
Well,
driving.
definitely you have to go 100 because the reason why they made Grand Theft Auto is to do the shit you can't do in real life.
Right, exactly.
that's the whole reason why
okay,
they made it.
or a racing car game.
Oh, Need
I
for
am
Speed,
fucking
I
awful.
destroy corners. Like I'm not kidding, because I always think I can go 60 and drift it, and you roll the car like, and then slam it into something like Forza. You're like, I'll take this V12 Mustang or whatever that I created, and I'll fly it around corners.
It'd be no problem.
And
yeah.
then no, definitely destroys it
I'm
in the
not
first
braking
30
for-
seconds.
And you
have
got to go down to like 30 miles an hour. It's like fuck that.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like-
lose. I'm not going that slow. I played this NASCAR game, like
Oh, this is
NASCAR Heat.
Mm-hmm.
I played like a demo of it, and like I just kept getting like flagged because my
You'd bump into cars and stuff.
yeah. That's how I turn. Is
Oh, you hate cars?
Yeah. I'm just gonna keep scratching the paint, as they say, like or trading paint.
I did
like,
pretty good with NASCAR 08, so I mean I'm a pro now.
no, I'm pretty good. I'm no
Yeah, I'm
problem.
pretty good. Jeff Gordon life.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not.
Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah, I got nothing. Like
Like
I'm
no.
horrible at it.
And you think about it though, you seriously think about it, and you're like, I'm so good. Like I could be totally good at NASCAR. You're going in an oval, and if you're like play it like we do, you're either smacking a car, or you're running into the grass, or you're hitting the wall.
Are you gonna what was his name? Dale Earnhardt yourself.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
There was a thing. It was like you support Trump's wall until you realize that Dale Earnhardt got taken out by a wall.
that's fucking funny. That is hilarious.
God bless you, number 3.
Somebody should make a meme
They already have
of
it.
him crashing into a wall.
There's a thing. It's like there's a lot of things that Dale Earnhardt can win except for jumping a wall, which is so bad because like I'm pretty sure he was a really cool dude and I loved his mustache. But other than
Yeah,
that,
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
well, not anymore. He's dead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you lost. He lost that race that day.
That's a weird way to die too. I've seen that accident and it did not look bad at
he
all.
barely like he got cornered up and then the air flipped him, right?
Yeah.
And then you think about it, you're like 5-point harness didn't work. Like
Not on his head though.
no, like his head smashed into things like really badly. And being as a kid or whatever, and like say you're at that raceway, that's something that sticks with you for the rest of your life.
Do you think they saw him though? Really?
What, well, you had to stretcher him out.
Right. But
I mean, there's blood everywhere.
was it? See, I thought he was just a broken neck.
No, like he cracked his head open and then snapped his neck.
Oh, so like his face was all like
Fucked up. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh my God, Dale Jr.'s like, I was named after him. And
Didn't he run
he
out?
run out.
Yeah.
He ran out because
Good
he was
call.
number 18. No. Was he?
'Cause didn't he die?
He was 18. He was number 18 at that time because then he became 88.
Didn't he like die?
He died in the hospital, I think.
Right, but I meant like technically he was doing something to help his son win that race.
Oh yeah, no, he was like slingshotting
That's what
Junior
it's
to
called.
win it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he was using Senior's force. Slingshot, engaged.
Which I don't understand any of that shit.
It's
I mean, I'm just
force.
saying.
It's airflow.
I've seen Ricky Bobby go flipping
yeah.
through the air, and he was fine.
He was fine.
Yeah,
he comes
so-
out in his underpants.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's a man right there.
Totally fine.
I feel like, dear sweet Lord, baby Jesus, 8 ounce.
Just baby Jesus.
Just baby Jesus. Look, if you want to say grace, okay, you can say it to whatever Jesus you want to. I like to think of my Jesus as like a tuxedo T-shirt with a mullet. I love that movie.
It's such a hilarious movie. Before we do leave, though, I do want to, as we were talking about walls,
Yeah.
there's a GoFundMe
Oh, I love this.
for ladders over Trump's wall. There's a GoFundMe for Trump's wall.
I really
and
wish
they've
I would have
made
thought of this.
about I think last time I checked, it was like $4 to $5 million.
Oh, fantastic.
And the ladders over Trump's wall
Please
has
tell me it's more.
the last time I no. Because I think you look at it and you think it's a joke, and it is. It's a great troll. It's fucking hilarious, and they've so far made about $1 million. The one thing, if you read further down, though, they say that if they don't reach their goal, and even if they do reach their goal, all of that money is going to go to border towns to help them.
Yeah, it's a good cause.
Yeah, it's actually a good cause.
It's a
They just had a
really good
hilarious name to it. I
Oh
just
my
thought that was really
gosh.
funny. So if you got nothing to do, you feel like you
Please.
should give some money.
Yeah, please donate to Ladders Over Trump's Wall.
Yeah, because
It's-
just if nothing else,
it helps people.
do it because it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Like,
yeah, I would
yeah.
just because that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's
Funny.
no.
funny
What we
idea.
would say is that's a hilarious idea, and it should work.
Yes, yeah,
You know, it'd be better if someone like created elevators over Trump's wall, so you don't have to climb.
that would be awesome.
Fantastic.
Like the old school elevators.
Oh, like rope,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
rope one, like
You just have
and
like
it,
some
like-
dude
and it like goes up and then transitions over and then goes down.
goes down. That would be awesome.
So that way you don't have to really do any work.
That would be great. They should totally make those.
Yeah. most
Anyway, that's it for us. We will be gone until next Friday. The whatever that is, the 28th. Yeah, like I said, we were gonna be back on Wednesday, but screw it. We have enough family time by then anyway. I mean,
definitely.
Tanya's been gone over. She'll be gone over a week at that point. And Cody, I don't know the last time he's been in the studio, so we thought, we'll come back Wednesday. But fortunately, we're switching some software, some hardware here at the studio, so the studio is going to be down on Wednesday. But throughout all this time, pay attention to our Facebook page, which is Revolution Radio 316. We will be staying active like always. We're posting the news stories. You hit us up in some of that. We'll, at least me and Tanya, will be interacting with you guys. We'll be talking with you guys and abreasting you of our opinions of the latest situations going on. And that's pretty much the best way is Revolution Radio 316 on Facebook. You can also, if you're having a hard time finding that, you can find me, which I usually include Revolution Radio into a lot of my stuff. You can find me on Facebook at J Dillon, JAYDYLAN, or Tanya Buentello, Tanya Marie Buentello. I'm not going to try to spell that, but I will say this. It is, actually I can. TANYAMARIEBUENE. Wait, I can't do it without looking.
Nope.
There's a T in there.
Somewhere.
BUNTELLO. I think that's it. But yeah, you can find me, and then you can find her too. Like, she's one of my friends, so yeah, just look up Tanya. I also can't hear me that, unfortunately. But yeah, and we're I don't know which one of our shows will be on 24.7 stream next Thursday. So if you miss us and you want to hear us, we'll definitely be there. So check them out. They're doing great work by us. Great place to listen to music and to all your streaming needs. And we will also our YouTube channel. If you want to catch up while we're gone on our little sabbatical, just look up Revolution Radio channel on YouTube. Go all the way down till you see our icon, which is the hand holding the microphone. We think we've got like 12 or 13 videos up by now, and we're continuing to build that archive. So you can find us at all those places, and keep keep interacting with us, and we'll keep doing the same thing on our end while we're gone. So moving forward, Revolution Auto Sales, great deals on amazing rides. Call Mark at 316-217-3066 to set up a test drive. Platinum PDR, raising the bar in paintless dent removal. Nationwide service, call Scott 316-217-3088 for estimate and or appointment. And Play More Lanes, cosmic bowling challenges every Saturday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with weekly cash prizes. Groups of 5 or more that mention 106.6 The Blast will get $1.06 off entry fee. Don't laugh too hard. And I also want to talk about Distant Lands Coffee. If you like coffee, or if you really like anything dark and chunky, like Cody does, Distant Lands
Oh
Coffee.
man, we're just taking shots at him today, aren't we?
That's all
We
right.
love you, Cody.
He's not listening. He's probably thigh deep in someone right now.
Oh my gosh.
Distant Lands Coffee, though, they make fantastic coffee. Working the Keurigs. I think they have the other versions as well. They also have teas, cocos. So if you're not like a coffee person like myself, there's other options. And performance decals. Whatever kind of decal need that you have, business, personal, whatever, they're the place to go. Look all of those up on Facebook. Again, Revolution Auto Sales, Platinum PDR, Playmore Lanes, Distant Lands Coffee, and Performance Decals. Like I said, we will be back next Friday at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I don't know if we're going to be able to talk to a guest or what's going on.